What's going on, guys? Colton with Twig and Timber Outdoors, and here I'm going to break down my top 3 favorite steelhead flies for the Great Lakes region. So here you go. These are my top flies. I'm going to show you from a guide's perspective what it is I bring on the water, and I usually bring double the quantity I'm going to show you, but these are some of the actual boxes I bring on the water when I have clients that we need to get fish and get fish quickly. Alright guys, so this is my selection for Great Lakes Steelhead. Now, I'm going to go over first my nymphing selection, and this will vary, but as a guide, this is what I rely on to get people fish on a regular basis. Now, there are a couple different ways to go about this. I have 2 typically boxes. One is my nymphing box, and we do a lot of tight line Euro style nymphing for steelhead. I know it sounds crazy, but our waters really do well on them. And then I also have a drifting box, or a drifting style, that if it comes down to it, we can get down and dirty and use an indicator. But, so I split it up into nymphs, and this is like my eggs and worm style selection. So let's get into it. We'll go into first the egg box. So, as you see, we have tons of different styles of eggs. We have, mostly though, if you notice, it's mostly like soft, like egg style beads, but they're not beads. They're actually like jelly. They're by Otter Creek. And then I do have a few different ties in here as well, but for the most part, I like to fish these because the veil really kills it. It's great. And then the other side, we have some of our smaller streamers. And this is usually, the reason I have smaller streamers in here is because I can nymph these, and then we can, once we're done with our drift, we can let it swing out, and we can kind of get a little short mend and get them swung out and hook some fish that way. We've done it pretty well. And these are all very heavily weighted, so they have wire wrap in them as well. And they're your typical stuff. You've got some woolly buggers, you've got some egg-sucking leeches, you even have some kind of almost, you have some like, even some wet flies up here that do pretty well. But if you can tell, white, and I also do have some more that I want to show you right here. These are a little bigger in the, for when salmon are around too. But we have some bigger, kind of almost more salmon-like flies. In our pinks and some of our brighter colors, even some traditional, you know, style flies here. But this is what I use to nymph and then swing. And then, so depending on what the client wants to do, if they want to swing, I'll cater. I'll take this part of my box out and I'll put in some streamers instead, some additional streamers. Like I'll actually box these ones up that I just showed you. But for the most part, this really gets it done very well. But one of my favorite box instead, the one that actually gets more fish than even beads, because these fish see so many egg patterns and beads, is this box right here. Now, yes, we have some of our yarn beads and things, but this side over here is what really gets it done typically. And these are my special nymphs. They're some very different style, almost modified midge style patterns, and some wet flies up here, some worms, but for the most part, this bottom section right here really gets it done. So if I had to point out the top performing flies for Great Lakes Steelhead, it would probably have to be number 1 being, this is my little gem right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is essentially a giant midge, a giant like disco style midge. That and this one right here get the job done. It just has some pearl flash on it and stuff. Second fly would probably have to be, let's see, one of these right here in an orange, but the veil has to be there. Orange or white, or the pinks do it as well. Third has to be right here. So it's an egg style pattern that is just made entirely out of like ghost material. So those are my top 3, and then sprinkled in there, some of these wets do very well. White woolly buggers do extremely well. Pink woolly buggers do extremely well. And then some of your traditional wets as well. And whenever you're swinging, some of these bright tiger colors do extremely well too. So some of your woolly worms and stuff also. But I typically will tie everything in a 2x strong shank, and that will typically be what gets everything in the, two-hand on the stream. So there you have it. Those are my favorite flies. I'm giving you a sneak peek on what I take to the stream with me, but also what I take guiding clients who want to nymph or even who want to swing streamers. It just depends on what the client wants to do, but if they want to just put fish in the boat, quote unquote, then we have a couple of different options whenever we do that. So hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out the other videos in the playlist, and until next time, guys, catch you guys on the flip side. Tight lines, and we're out.